ve şiddet tutkunu değiliz.
Biz de zindanla da korkutamazsın.
Your country is in big trouble.
Teslim olmanın sınırı yok.
Thousands of Kurdish women take to streets of Damascus to demand a gender-inclusive and democratic peace process in Turkey. Damascus and the North and East Syria administration reach a four-point agreement in landmark talks. A new penal law in Turkey threatens Kurdish reconciliation, drawing criticism from rights groups and opposition. Pro-Kurdish Dem party leaders commemorate the 12th anniversary of Istanbul's groundbreaking Gezi Park protests. Learn more with Medya News. Thousands of women flooded the streets of Diyarbakir or Ahmed in southeast Turkey on Sunday in a mass demonstration calling for an inclusive peace process and a democratic resolution to the Kurdish issue, with gender equality at its core. The march, organised by the Free Women's Movement, united women from across Turkey and Kurdish regions under the slogan "Women Walk for Social Peace and Democratic Resolution." Pro-Kurdish Dem and DBP party leaders also joined the protest, which featured Kurdish songs, traditional dances, and banners in both Kurdish and Turkish. The event follows a renewed call for peace issued by imprisoned Kurdish leader Abdullah Öcalan in February. Women carried portraits of those killed or sentenced in political struggles and called for an end to Öcalan's isolation, alongside legal recognition of Kurdish identity, language, and women's rights. In a statement read in Kurdish, march organisers warned against militarised, male-dominated narratives derailing the recent peace efforts. They also condemned the Turkish government's controversial replacement of elected Kurdish officials with so-called trustees appointed by the state. The march ended with a pledge for women to remain central to any peace process and a warning that without addressing gender-based violence and state oppression, lasting peace will remain out of reach. For the first time since their March memorandum, officials from the Syrian government and the autonomous administration of North and East Syria met in Damascus on Sunday, reaching a four-point agreement seen as a significant step towards stabilization and joint governance. The talks, described by both sides as constructive, resulted in plans to improve education access, support the voluntary return of displaced populations, and review the status of contested neighbourhoods in Aleppo, notably Ashrafia and Sheikh Maqsoud. Crucially, expert subcommittees will now be established to oversee the implementation of the March deal, originally signed by Syrian Democratic Forces commander Mazloum Abdi and interim President Ahmed al-Sharaa. The renewed dialogue follows a series of preparatory meetings held in North and East Syria and coincides with mounting international pressure for an inclusive political solution post-Assad. Delegates also welcomed recent moves by the EU and US to ease sanctions on Syria, describing them as a potential boost for reconstruction and security. Alongside the main discussions, a tripartite meeting involving the SDF, Autonomous Administration, and the Syrian Democratic Council explored military coordination, especially concerning ongoing operations against ISIS, and paved the way for a planned national conference bringing together diverse political actors from across the region. Turkey's Justice Commission has swiftly approved a controversial new legal reform package, drawing sharp criticism from human rights groups and Kurdish political figures. The law, passed on the 1st of June, introduces harsher penalties for protest activity and restricts parole options. Measures opponents say will deepen existing inequalities in the justice system. Introduced by the ruling AKP and its far-right ally, the MHP, the legislation has been accused of targeting political prisoners and codifying what critics call enemy law. Dem Party MPs and rights advocates warn it sidelines peaceful dissent, tightens the grip of the anti-terror law, and excludes seriously ill prisoners from early release mechanisms. Veteran Kurdish politician Ahmet Turk described the bill as a missed opportunity for peace, coming just days after the PKK announced its intention to disarm. Speaking at a panel in Mardin, Turk said the law offers nothing towards reconciliation and instead deepens our concerns. Human Rights Association co-chair Eren Keskin echoed the sentiment, stating that the reforms entrench political bias and systemic discrimination. With Parliament now set to recess until October, many fear this reform will stall progress at a critical moment for Turkey's fragile peace prospects. Turkey's pro-Kurdish People's Equality and Democracy, or DEM party, has marked the 12th anniversary of the Gezi Park protests, with party co-chairs Tülay Hatimehlura and Tunca Bakirhan paying tribute to the movement's enduring legacy in the struggle for justice and democracy. The protests, which began in 2013 as a small demonstration against the redevelopment of Gezi Park in central Istanbul, quickly escalated into a nationwide uprising against authoritarianism and state violence. The government response was severe, with police deploying tear gas and water cannons, resulting in numerous injuries and arrests. In a video post on Platform X, Hatimehlura highlighted the late peace negotiator and DEM MP Surah Süreyya Önder's role in the protests, calling Gezi the common voice of this country's conscience. Bakirhan added, Gezi was the clearest expression of solidarity among different identities and beliefs. We continue to stand for peace, justice, and true democracy. The movement had a lasting political impact, contributing to a shift in public consciousness and paving the way for the People's Democratic Party, now succeeded by the DEM party, to enter parliament for the first time, a key milestone for pro-Kurdish representation in Turkish politics.
Medya News Daily Review.
Biz burada şiddet tutkunu değiliz.
Biz de zindanla da korkutamazsın.
Your country is in big trouble.
Teslim olmanın sınırı yok.